The most judgmental signs from the most to least. My name is Desiree. I'm a professional astrologer. You can book a reading with me, link in bio. Number 1, obviously Virgo. They are ultimate judgers, ultimate critics. They have something to say about everything. They can be very negative and harsh. And to be honest, nothing is ever good enough for them. Nothing will ever be good enough for them. Even if they literally get everything they want in life, they will still make it a point to critique things because their job is to make things perfect, and nothing's perfect. Number 2, Capricorn. Of course, Capricorn, they are very judgmental people because they have very high standards. They're always striving to be better, to be the greatest, to be the best, to be the GOAT. They're very reliable, responsible, and they feel like no one else is ever any of those things or really ever good enough for them in that way. And they definitely don't agree with certain ways of people, like how people do things or lifestyle choices. They can be judgmental in like, why would someone choose that? Why would someone want that, you know? Super judgmental. That's that Saturn energy. Now Taurus, also judgmental. These are all 3 earth signs at the top. So if you can tell, earth signs can be very judgmental because they are more rigid and stiff and like kind of stuck in their ways. So Taurus, of course, they really like tradition, structure, stability. They like things to be the same. They don't want change. They don't want anything new or unpredictable popping up. They don't want surprises. So if people live in more unique, different ways, or, you know, have even like humor that is different than what they think is right, they can be very judgmental against those kind of people, hold grudges, and just like remember things. Like if someone says something to them or jokes with them or something, they will hold it and like remember it. Big grudge holders, very judgmental of everyone around them. Number 4, Libra. Libra people are very like socially, they want everything to be socially right and socially acceptable. They don't want disorder. They want balance at all times. So people who disrupt balance and disrupt the order of things and in their mind how things should be, they can be very judgmental about that and disagree with people. They can be very vocal about it too because they're an air sign, they're masculine, so they will be like, oh, I would tell her to do this. Oh, you need to do this. They're very like give people advice when they don't really want it. And of course that comes with being judgmental because you're kind of judging the way that someone is doing something or reacting or how a situation unfolded, and you're kind of giving your 2 cents when like you could just be like, okay, let it go. It's not your business, you know? And sometimes they can do that and kind of stay in their own lane, but that's usually only if they're trying to keep the peace. And in that, they can even like kind of be a little bit fake. Like if they're around certain people that they want to please and make happy, they can be like take on that in a way and take on that behavior that they think the people around them want, all while like deep down like still judging things and judging what they are experiencing or what they hear. Very, very gossipy. Scorpio is judgmental just because they're a fixed sign and because they usually are people that are somewhat perfectionistic, very hardworking, very dedicated people. They can be very serious, very intense people. Not to say that they don't have like a sense of humor or anything like that, but I know a lot of Scorpio people that like you have to kind of get to know them and get to know their humor, and you know, it's just like a kind of comes from a judgmental place almost. Really depends on everything in the chart, but they can have this kind of judgy, like I'm a little better than you. I'm more interesting. I have more depth and, you know, more to say because they have that like emotional intensity, you know, so they can look at some of the other signs that are more just fun and outgoing and lively as like, you're not giving like the seriousness that they think should be. People should take things very serious and, you know, be very dutiful and hardworking. And if people around them are like not really doing that or not behaving how they think they should behave, they can be very judgy. Cancer can be judgy just because they like things to be very comfortable around them. So if people are acting weird or strange or different or unique, they're like, what the heck is going on with that? Like, why would someone do that? Just because it's like different for them personally and from what they would feel comfortable with. So it can kind of come off as a judginess, but usually they like try to walk it back. Like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like it's actually fine, you know, but really deep down they're like, wow, that is very weird behavior. I've never experienced that before. You know, they'll be like definitely very vocal about things that they haven't been exposed to, and of course that can come off as judgmental, but yeah, usually they'll try to walk it back and just like make it seem like they're not really judging you, even though they definitely are. Gemini, these people are very chatty, very gossipy, so they can have a lot to say about everybody and about how people do things, but usually they kind of keep that judgmentalness like inside, or they will only tell like certain people, their best friends, like what they're thinking about. A lot of times Gemini people learn throughout their life that they can't really just be gossipy and chit chatty about everything that they're feeling and all of their judgments, because it can come back to bite them in the you know what, because that gossiping energy is just sometimes going to lead to like karma coming back to you. People will hear about it. So these people tend to try to keep those types of things just between people that they know are going to either agree with them or keep that private. But they're ruled by Mercury, so similar to Virgo, they have that kind of judgy, like, I think I know what's best, I know what is funny or interesting, or I know like the best plan. Gemini people can be very big planners, so they love to like do that type of thing. And if other people can't keep up with them, their energy, their liveliness, their, kind of mental quickness, they can be like, oh, this person's stupid, this person can't keep up. Sagittarius kind of has a similar energy. They just always think that they're right, and so that can lead to a lot of judgment. They can be very righteous, they can be very self-focused, very confident in that way, and it will just lead to them being very judgy of others' like way of life if it doesn't align with theirs. I see this a lot too with like Sagittarius people traveling. They can like love to travel, love to go do new things, but it only has to be like things that they really like want to do, like maybe go to a certain place or go experience a certain type of thing. They're not really into like going and doing like all of the crazy different traveling things that are available. Maybe they only want like a luxury experience, or they only want like this certain type of culture, just very like one directed in some way. That's the arrow of Sagittarius. They can be like very focused on like their specific way that they like, and so it can be very judgy to like other people, other different cultures, other types of lifestyles. Leo can be very judgy just because it's a fixed sign, and because they are so self-focused and self-confident. They see like their way of doing things as the best way, kind of see themselves as like kings, and that they want all the attention and all the affection and admiration. And so they can be kind of judgy in a way if other people around them have a different way of doing things that gets them maybe more, or gets them more attention and accolades. They can be like, wow, why would anyone care about what you're doing? That's so stupid. Or the way that you do things is wrong compared to how they think things should be done and how they like to do things. But they're not like at the top, because they definitely let others like live their life, do their own thing, and they're really big on like self freedom and not like holding people back. Aquarius is very similar in that way. It's a fixed sign ruled by Saturn, so there is that Saturnian kind of judgy, like, what the heck, why would they do that, or why would they choose to behave in that way? Like, they can be very judgy in that way, especially with people who don't behave like very classy. Like, I think Aquarius people, like, even though they're unique and rebellious and different, they can really have like a high level of like, okay, this is how society you need to behave, because they are an air sign, very social. So if someone isn't acting like very classy or respectable, that's when they like feel like, ooh, very judgy. They don't like that at all. Aries, not super judgy. They are all about freedom, all about self-expression. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to be held back. They want to let other people do the same thing. But if someone is judging them, that's when they can turn it around and be like, oh, you want to judge me? Like, let me show you how I can even be worse. Like, they have that warrior energy, very passionate, aggressive, and very like revengeful. So if you like pick a war or pick a battle with an Aries, they're gonna turn it around and just kind of make you feel pretty horrible about yourself usually. They're just so fun and playful. They don't really care and judge people just like for whatever. They really could care less. Pisces, very similar. They don't care about other people a lot of the times, like unless they are having a lot of earth in their chart. Usually they could care less about other people, live and let live. That's like with everything, relationships, career, just like they can be so passive and just really not worried about other people unless it affects them. If it affects them, they can become very overly emotional, very judgmental, especially if they've created like a story in their head of what's going on or something. Then that's when they can become very judgy, because they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like this person is out to get me. I feel like something is going on. That's when they'll be really judgmental and can try to like hurt people or become, very angry and kind of aggressive in that way. But normally Pisces is like the sign of Jesus, basically. Like, they are not really judging people. They want to help people. They want to give. They're very caring and empathetic.